In a soft corner of the world hidden far from the rush of ordinary days lay a valley that most maps forgot. The locals called it the Whispering Valley, because if you stood very still at twilight, you could hear the wind speaking in faint musical tones. It was a place where the grass grew long and silvery, where fireflies glowed even on cool mornings, and where the river told stories about the mountains it once passed through. In this quiet valley lived a single resident, a wizard. Not the spectacular, robe-swirling, lightning-throwing kind found in old tales. No, this wizard was gentle. So gentle, in fact, that people often forgot he was a wizard at all. His name was Orrin, Orrin the Dreammender. And while he lived far away from cities and crowns and councils of magic, he had a task that was perhaps more important than any of them. Every night when the world slept, he fixed broken dreams. Sometimes it was a dream shattered by grief, sometimes by stress, sometimes by fear, or by memories that wouldn't soften, and sometimes a dream simply unraveled from being held too tightly. Orrin would take them in, mend their seams, brush the dust from their edges, and return them quietly, kindly to those who needed them most. Tonight, Orrin was preparing for one of the busiest nights he had felt in a long, long while. Because tonight, something strange was happening. Dreams weren't just cracking. They were falling from the sky. Orrin noticed it first when he stepped out onto his porch, a wooden platform overlooking the shimmering valley below. He held a warm cup of chamomile cloud tea made from dried pieces of vapor he collected at dawn and inhaled deeply. The sky above him was a deep navy blue. Stars glittered like scattered silver needles. A gentle fog curled around the edges of the valley, moving like a quiet tide. But something was different. He squinted. Above the hills, something bright streaked downward. Then another. Not stars, dreams. They fell like shooting stars, but softer, drifting in spirals and shedding glowing dust. Each one hummed faintly as it descended. Orrin set down his cup. "Well," he murmured gently to no one in particular, "that's not supposed to happen." He reached for his staff, not a grand, stone-tipped staff, but a smooth wooden one with swirls he'd carved during slow winters. At the top hung a lantern that glowed with a soft golden light. He stepped down the porch steps and began walking toward the valley floor. With each step, the night welcomed him. Crickets quieted respectfully. The wind slowed as if waiting to hear him speak. Orrin had been the valley's dreammender for centuries, though he didn't count. He looked no older than a kindly elder, with silver hair tied loosely back. His soft smile made the night feel warmer, even on moonless evenings. Tonight, he whispered to himself, something must be troubling the dream fields. He watched another glowing dream fall into the tall grass with a silent puff of golden dust. When dreams fell, it meant their threads had snapped, not just cracked from stress, snapped entirely. Something was wrong. He hurried his pace. The dream fields sat at the very heart of the Whispering Valley, a wide meadow filled with floating orbs of faintly glowing color. These orbs were dreams in their quiet resting state, waiting to be delivered each night to the people of the world. Tonight, however, the field was trembling. Dreams flickered. Some pulsed unevenly, like fireflies struggling to stay lit. Others wavered dangerously close to the ground, their glow dim. And some crashed gently into the tall grass like tired birds. "Oh dear," Orrin sighed, brushing his hand over a shaking dream orb. Its colors, lavender and pale blue, shivered beneath his touch. "You poor thing." The dream quivered, then stilled, breathing in the reassurance of his presence. He lifted his lantern staff and examined the air above the meadow. Thin cracks of pale light streaked through the sky. Fractures, like glass that had been tapped too hard. "Ah," he murmured, "so that's it." The dream veil, the invisible layer between waking thoughts and dreaming ones, was weakened, not broken, but strained. "How curious," Orrin whispered. "This hasn't happened in decades." He needed to fix it. But first he needed to repair the dreams already fallen. He raised his staff. The lantern glowed brighter, and the cracked dreams began to float toward him like drowsy moths. Orrin carried them gently, as though holding fragile snowflakes. Back to his cottage he went, where he kept his workshop. Inside the cottage, soft light glowed from dozens of floating jars. Each jar held mists of different colors, swirling gently like tiny nebulae. Tools hung from wooden racks. The feather of softening, used to ease harsh dreams. The silver thread, spun from moonlight to sew cracks. The tuning chime, which brought dreams back into emotional harmony. The warmth lamp, which rekindled fading colors. And the forget-me-not brush used to clear away the dust of overthinking. Orrin placed the glowing, broken dreams into a shallow brass bowl, filled with stardust. He rolled up his sleeves. "Well then," he said cheerfully, "let's see what stories you hold." He began with the first dream, cracked along its side like a delicate egg. He tapped it with his chime. Ting. The dream opened, showing its contents like a miniature world. He saw a woman trying to reach a childhood home she could no longer enter. The door had a lock with no keyhole. Her hand shook each time she knocked. "A dream of longing," Orrin murmured softly. He dusted off the edges with the forget-me-not brush, and the dream brightened. He stitched the crack with silver thread. He warmed it with the lamp until its colors glowed like morning sun through curtains. Then he whispered, "It's all right to miss what was, but you carry more doors inside you than you know." The dream pulsed softly, repaired. The next was a man's dream of running, always running, down endless hallways, breathless, chased by something unseen. "A dream of anxiety," Orrin said gently. He added a drop of night bloom essence, calming the frantic shadows. He tuned the racing footsteps into a slow, rhythmic echo. He whispered, "You are not behind. You are simply tired." The dream released a shudder, then relaxed. One by one, Orrin mended dream after dream. A dream of someone who feared being forgotten. A dream of someone overwhelmed by choices. A dream of someone who carried too much responsibility. A dream of someone who wanted to start over but didn't know how. He worked until the moon moved slowly across the sky. But as he finished each dream, he noticed something troubling. Every broken dream held the same thread woven into it, a quiet, heavy sense of loneliness. Something or someone beyond this valley was hurting so deeply that the pain rippled through the dream veil itself. "This isn't just an accident," Orrin whispered. "This is a calling." Just as Orrin finished restoring the last dream, he heard a soft knock. Not on the door, on the window. He turned. Hovering outside in the cool night air was the largest dream orb he'd ever seen. Its glow was dim, flickering like a lantern in a storm. Its color was unusual, not a vibrant hue but a muted, heavy silver gray. It pressed weakly against the window pane. Orrin hurried to unlatch it. The dream floated inside and sank onto the workshop table as though exhausted. "Oh my," Orrin whispered with genuine concern. "You poor, tired thing. This dream wasn't just cracked. It was shattered inside, its fragments barely holding together." He tapped it softly with a chime. The dream struggled, then opened. What Orrin saw inside was unlike anything he'd seen in many years. A person, sitting alone in a dark, quiet room. The person's hands were clasped tightly together, knuckles pale. Their head hung. The room around them felt heavy, thick with unspoken thoughts, unshared. Worries and an emptiness that stretched far too wide. "A dream of deep isolation," Orrin whispered. A dream that had grown so heavy that it broke under its own weight. He studied the dream further. The person inside wasn't sleeping peacefully. They were trying desperately to fall asleep so they wouldn't have to feel the weight of their thoughts. Orrin's expression softened. "Well," he said quietly, "it looks like someone out there needs more than a mended dream." He rested his hand on the dream's trembling surface. "Let's help them." Orrin lit his lantern fully. Its warm glow filled the workshop. He took a slow breath, touched the lantern to the dream, and stepped inside. The world around him shifted gently like a page turning. Suddenly, he stood in the dark room from the vision. The walls were plain. The air felt heavy. The silence was thick. The dreamers sat on the edge of their bed, shoulders slumped. They didn't see Orrin yet. He arrived like a gentle thought. Orrin approached slowly. "Hello," he said softly. The dreamer lifted their head. Who are you?" "A friend," Orrin replied with a warm smile. Is this a dream?" "Yes," Orrin said. "It's your dream, but I'm here because it called for help." The dreamer swallowed. "I didn't mean to." "I know," Orrin said gently. "No one breaks their dreams on purpose." Silence washed over the room again. "Why is everything so heavy?" The dreamer whispered. "Because you've been carrying more than anyone should carry alone. It feels like I can't breathe sometimes. I don't know how to rest anymore." Orrin nodded softly. "Rest isn't something you earn," he said. "It's something you deserve simply because you're alive." The dreamer looked at him. "Can you fix me?" "Oh, my dear dreamer." "You're not broken," Orrin said. "Your dream is, and that I can help with." He lifted his staff. "May I show you something? May I show you something?" The dreamer nodded. The room shifted, walls dissolving into twilight. Stars drifted by like glowing petals. "Where are we?" The dreamer whispered. "In the quiet between thoughts," Orrin said. "A place most people never visit. This is where your mind rests when it stops trying so hard. It's peaceful here." "It's always been part of you," Orrin said. "Just hidden under worry." "I'm so tired," the dreamer said. Orrin placed a gentle hand on their shoulder. "Then let me take some weight from you." Using his staff, Orrin drew slow circles in the air. Threads of warm gold appeared. They touched the dreamer's worries. A worry about the future, a feeling of inadequacy, a fear of being alone. The threads wrapped gently, softening the feelings. "You don't have to carry everything," Orrin murmured. You do not fail by resting. You do not break by feeling. You do not fall behind by breathing. The dreamer closed their eyes. Their trembling slowed. The golden threads wrapped around them like a warm blanket. Will it last? They asked. No feeling lasts forever, Orrin said. But you can return to this quieter place. He tapped the dream lightly with his staff. The space shimmered as Orrin repaired the fractures with silver light. The dream pulled together, stronger and brighter than before. You'll rest tonight, Orrin said, and tomorrow may feel a little lighter. The dreamer looked at him with silent gratitude. Thank you, they whispered. It's what I'm here for, Orrin said softly. Orrin stepped back as the dream closed around the dreamer. The world shifted. He stood again in his workshop. The broken dream orb was no longer cracked. It glowed warmly. He placed it among the others. Rest well, dear one, he whispered. Outside, the dream veil was healing. Dreams drifted peacefully overhead. Orrin breathed a contented sigh and picked up his cooling chamomile cloud. Another night, he murmured, another dream mended. He looked across the whispering valley. Stars glittered above him, and somewhere far away a dreamer slept more peacefully, carried through the night by a dream that no longer hurt to hold. Well, that's the end of that tale I hope you enjoyed. And as Orrin would say, just rest for now.